Welcome back to Becca is Stitching. I'm Becca and this is a Flosstube where I mainly talk about cross stitch, but of course my other crafting hobbies that I get into. Let's see, it is August 22nd. It's Friday. Getting closer to the end of August, which is very exciting. Today's either going to be very short or very long because I've been in a really weird mood the last week and week or two, honestly, and who knows how today is gonna go, but you know, we're here. I worked out a lot of stuff. I've got some plans that I'm going to talk about. I've also just been like so stressed out because I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I get so stressed out about traveling and like my anxiety, especially when I go to my hometown. It just like, whew, you know, it's just a weird mood before I have to make that trek and make that journey for so many reasons. But I'm excited. My little nephew was born last week. I don't know, sometime in between last video and this video. I have a full human baby nephew. So I will be going to my hometown next week to basically just spend time with him and his family. And on the way to my hometown, I'm going over to Pittsburgh for a bridal shower, wedding shower. I'm so bad with terms. A wedding shower, I think is what it's called. Bridal shower. I don't know. It really does not matter. And then I'm staying overnight. Then the next day, I'm going to Buffalo to visit a friend from high school. And then I will be coming back down to my hometown. So it's gonna be a busy weekend. I'm like already tired thinking about it, but that's okay. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting to see everybody. It's just my anxiety is really getting the best of me when I know there's many days of socialization and I don't get to sleep in my own bed. I hope there's someone out there that can relate to that, but that means that I won't be going to my Stitchy group day in Culpeper, Virginia, which is disappointing. But to make up for that, my friend Emily of the Pop-Up Stitcher, she goes to those Stitchy meetups and she owns like a bag making business on Etsy, the Pop-Up Stitcher, like I said. So I instead treated myself to finally getting one or two of her bags because she does a release with like new patterns on the 15th of every month, I think. I'll link her stuff below, but it's so good. So this is the one that I was obsessed with from this release. I just love these houses. Also, this is the stiffest project bag I've ever held, and I love that because one of my pet peeves is when they basically just like fall over when you like have them stacked next to each other. So I'm obsessed with how stiff this is, and it's so cute. I love it so much. And then I also picked up, this was from her, I think, Christmas in July release. So I picked this one up. It's a vinyl front. I don't love the vinyl front bags, but I love this print so much. It's like Christmas stamps. It's so cute. So I am gonna put my my stockings. I think this will be my stockings bag, which is exciting. And she also sent it with a little thread bed. So it's got like a zipper on the back of it and just like a standard thread bed with like a needle felt flap. It's very cute and very helpful for my upcoming travel. So I'm very excited about that. One of the best things about supporting a friend is the lovely little notes that they send in your package. So that was really exciting and I loved opening up my package from Emily. And Diana really felt the need to say hello today. So you good? You done with this now? Okay. Okay. Okay, so finally, into what I've been working on. I had a start, finish, and so close to a fully finish because I'm taking it with me to go to the bridal shower. It is a wedding sampler for my friend. She's getting married in October, and this is the completed piece. It's only partially FFO'd because nothing is you know, like I laced it and everything, but I had to lace it on the foam core, which did not fit with the frame itself. To lace, I use crochet thread. It's in the like yarn section of Michael's, and it's really nice to use. But yeah, so my husband needs to add a hook so I can paper and tape the back closed. But this was like an Etsy purchase I made a couple years ago to make for a friend. So I reused the pattern. I used Despair Bestitch Me Silk. It's this nice blue. I used it for that pillow also. So I have like not that much of it left, which is great. So this is 2/2 on 36 count sand by Picture This Plus. So I started and finished this, and this was 1,788 stitches. Obviously we're getting a glare, but that's what you get. Oh, I guess I could just literally pop it out because it's not in anything. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And I think it turned out really, really well. Again, it's a very simple pattern, but I think it's just really pretty. And like it's not huge. And even the frame, like if they decide to reframe it in something else, like it's already laced and everything, so they could just get any other 8x8 frame to pop it into if this one does not fit their style. So that is that. And I will not be able to go to their wedding, which is why I'm definitely going to their bridal shower, and I wanted to get that done before it. Okay, so it's like she knows I'm leaving. She's very needy right now. Okay, so works in progress. For a split second, I thought I forgot to hit record and I was gonna be so sad. Okay, we're good, we're good. Okay, so first up for works in progress was my Whip into Shape piece, which is Farewell to Lothlorien. Unfortunately, Andrew had to drop out of his marathon in Sydney at the end of this month due to life circumstances, which is just very unfortunate, but I'm so happy, Andrew, that we were able to stick with you for most of your journey. And I mean, you still accomplished something amazing. You've run so much, and it's amazing and impressive, and I'm glad we were here to support you through that journey, and we'll support you again whenever you decide to join or train for another marathon, because it's not a small thing. But that leads me to this. So while he was running, I think he's been running. He might still be running through the rest of the month, except of course the marathon, because he's moving now at the end of this month. And running a marathon on like the day or the day before you're going to move, I can't even imagine how stressful that would be. So anyway, this is my Farewell to Lothlorien piece, and since last time I have put in 1,179 stitches, which means I would have gotten another column in. We're getting very, very close to the end of this column and the end of this block. So this is now at 168,899 stitches out of 408,375 stitches for 41.36%. And I'll go all over this in plans, but I will be finishing this column. I won't be stitching. If he's gonna keep running, I'm not like focusing on that anymore. I just want to finish this column before my September plans kick in. So I will eventually get to that, but we are getting close, and that's exciting. And throughout this challenge, I don't remember exactly what the number was, but like almost 13,000 stitches, because his challenge is every mile he ran, everybody put in 10 stitches per mile. I copied Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and I timed each mile by 26.2 to get more progress in on this project. So not everybody has gotten 13,000 stitches in on their project. That's a me and Jessie Marie thing. And whoever else copied her, like I did. So, but yes, so that is the first whip. Okay, so Whip Go goals. So last time I had done part of my Whip Go goal this month. So this is, again, brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff, Whip Go. Every month she calls 2 numbers, and that corresponds to whatever you made your WIPGO goal to be. My WIPGO board this year is all prompt based. So the first one that was called was Has Flowers. So I chose Wisteria. And this is a kit by Marechka. And I got in another 878 stitches. And my WIPGO goal is to put in 3 days or 1,500 stitches, whichever comes first. So this is now, okay, so this is 2/2. I didn't say anything about this. It's 1/1 full cross on 28 count, Jobelin. This one is all the called for threads that came in the kit. I'm doing, so, you know, mainly 2/2. I swapped out the fabric. This was a fabric of the month from Live and Dye LA. It's a very pretty blue. I'm not going to change it. Is this the right way? Yes, it is. Okay, so I definitely made it. This is the far right side of the piece, and you can see where that line is starting to form. And this is now at 4,558 stitches out of 27,930 stitches for 16.3%. Because Marechka has an app that is dedicated to just their projects. So highly recommend Marechka as a brand of kits. Their flosses are great. Their patterns are great. The app is wonderful. And I'm really happy that I've gotten progress in on this one. I love this chart. It just, before I had the app, it was complicated to stitch, so I didn't want to. So sometimes I just chose other things. Speaking of, last week I mentioned that like stitching can be mindless, and I didn't want anybody to take that the wrong way. Like, some stitching is obviously not mindless, right? Like, this is a complicated thing. I never want to downplay our craft and what we do for our craft. Like, it is a skill that we have to do this. And I did just want to make like that quick correction. Some of my projects are more mindless than others, which is good. Some are more complicated than others, which is also good. Stops my brain from spiraling as it does. So quick note about that. But yeah, so it's looking so cute. The flowers are really starting to come in here. I love it. So pretty. So yes. Okay, so my next one, it was a new start, and I think the call was Etsy pattern. So basically anything that I purchased directly through Etsy would have counted for this. So I chose to do a new start because I don't even think I had anything started that was from Etsy or like directly, because I feel like a lot of places, like if they have their own website, I try to go through their own website rather than go through Etsy. Anyway, that's not important. I chose to do the Book of Deadly Potions, and let me get this to hold behind it because it's pretty see-through. I got a lot of progress on this, and it looks so good. So this is Book of Deadly Potions. I'm stitching this all called for flosses, 2/2 on 32 count graceful gray from Witchell. This is the last piece of this fabric that I have. I bought like a full half yard or something for Templar Prophecy, which was the Long Dog Sampler that I finished last year. So I'm finally using the last scrap of that fabric, which I'm very excited to be done with the fabric. But I put in 1,652 stitches out of 3,296 stitches. So this is 50% done. And I got the whole border done. And it looks so good. I love these Halloween-y greens. Like, they're so bright and in your face, but like also spooky. You got like the, ooh, that was weird. Like the potion bottle or the poison bottle. I don't know, some type of bottle with the green liquid coming out. The bats in the corners. You've got the skeletons or the skulls, I guess. Got some plants. So all I have left to do is this middle part here, which is the book itself, which is really exciting. And this is fun to stitch. It's pretty fiddly, but it's pretty dense too. So like you can carry quite a bit, even on a thin thing like this. So this is kind of how I did it. And like, you can tell, like here especially, like it's a mess back there, but you would never be able to tell from the front of the piece that that's how it looked like, because it is pretty pretty densely filled in, even though it doesn't look quite like it is. But yeah, that was so fun to stitch. I love it. Oh, this is by Haunted Frames Stitchery. Haunted Frames. I don't remember. Again, it's gonna be, you know the drill. It's always here. All the details that I inevitably either forget or mess up when I'm spewing information at you. Yeah, so that was fun. I'm excited to pick that up again at some point. Okay, so I was whip into shape, whip go. Stitch-alongs. Okay, so I only worked on one of my stitch-alongs. I'm doing 3 right now. But realistically at this point, I just am trying to focus that effort, like my Sal focus, on getting this piece done. So let's see. I'm fully caught up. The new piece just came out and just hit my inbox before I started filming, and it's going to be, I think, just parrots. Like there's a parrot here flying, there's a parrot here sitting, and I think there's parrots here also on top sitting. But yeah, so since last time I stitched this part right here. So we've got some hanging parrots and we've got 2 different hummingbirds with the little planter. And then what else did we stitch? Oh, it was that the prehistoric birds? So we got this guy in here. And then we got this guy. This little salamander, which is like what he eats, is so cute. And then we got the Wonder Chicken, which is just absolutely delightful. So yes, those pieces were really, really fiddly again. And the piece that just came out, like I showed you, there's here and over here. And it's just a lot of moving around. And it looks like then that last part is probably going to be something right here. Probably pretty big. I'm hoping it's like one solid thing, kind of like the cassowary over here, so that it's not quite so fiddly to finish the piece off, but that's okay. I gotta show you, like, again, like I showed you before, like with the peacock tail, it's just like a carpet. I mean, that's kind of what this looks like too. Like, it's a little crazy back here. And I mean, the whole thing is, I mean, again, it's not the worst back I've ever seen. It's not the worst back I've ever done, but like she's thick. And part of that is on me. I always choose to do these 2/2 on 36 count. Because now I've done the other 2 that way, like they all have to be that, so they're all the same size, obviously. So we're almost done with this. I really am going to try to get this week's drop done before I leave. And that way when I get back, because I'm coming back Sunday, so I will have like Sunday and then Monday we have off for Labor Day. So at least in the US, I don't know what other countries do for that day. Other countries are just better about giving people time off in general, so maybe you don't need Labor Day. But yeah, so I hope to get this done on Labor Day, and then it'll be fully, by the time I film next, this piece will be done. Oh, and this is 36 count Heather by Picture This Plus. It's looking a little gray right now, but it's purple. Very purple. Purple. Again, it looks really good. I'm a bit over it at this point in time. What can you do? But I will finish it. I'm not letting that linger. Absolutely not. Well, let's just keep going. Oh, and I did 1,575 stitches on that since you last saw it. And we're so close. Okay, I also had a new start because the Witchy Stitcher, Meg, came out with her book. So this is Witchy Stitching. She just came out with this book. It is delightful. It's such a good book. It's got 25 patterns in it, I think, plus like 1 or 2. I don't know if the 1 or 2 at the beginning are counted in that 25, but you can see, I think the purples are the ones that I must stitch and the blues are ones that like I might stitch. So got quite a few to do. And okay, so I'm going to show you this here. So yeah, that's okay. So this is the one I'm doing. Dracula's Castle. That's the one I'm going to start with. And it's, oh my God, it's so beautiful and gothic. And those reds are just, delightful. But, and now you'll see up here, I put this into my charting software, because I don't like to stitch words, and I think the design speaks for itself, right? Like, you look at the design, you're like, oh, right, Dracula. At least in my brain, that's what I think. So, so I'm omitting the words, but you can see in the design, let me pull that back up again. In the design itself, if you get rid of the words kind of cut up into the castle, right? So there was like a lot of weird, there would have been like a lot of weird spacing at the bottom of the castle. So I charted it, and again, up here is what you can see. Like, I did a slight few changes to the bottom to make sure it was what I wanted to stitch. And, you know, I'm not always, like, most of the time I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have to chart this to, like, make it something I want. You're like, I'll just buy something I want. But sometimes I do really want it still, and there isn't, like, an alternative for me to get instead. And it was worth the effort. Like, it's not a huge pattern. None of these patterns are. They're in this book. I think this is one of the bigger ones. But anyway, so this is where I got to. And you're not going to see the change in charting for, like, ever, because I'm starting top down, as I usually do. I started in the middle, and I put in 492 stitches out of 4,781 stitches. Again, that's my version. The real version is going to have quite a few more. And it's about 10%. But it looks so good. So good. So that is my current witchy stitcher piece. And this is, I'm doing all the called for. This is 18 count Black Ada Zweigart that I had in stash. And man, oh, I love stitching on Ada sometimes. It's so, like, it has such like a nice structure in and of itself that, like, you don't have to worry about like pulling too hard or anything like that. It is nice to work on every once in a while. And I can count so much farther. For some reason, like the over two, I only trust myself to count like 5 stitches at a time. This I can count like 15 and still be okay. Yes, it looks good. I know it's not a huge start, but with my plans, I'm sure we'll get more. Okay, so the other thing I do is temp stitching. I do a modified version of what like a lot of people do. So I have my list of temperature stitches. And on Sundays, I look at the upcoming week, whatever the highest temperature for the week is. I choose the second digit of that temperature. And that correlates with something on my temperature list. And I only stitch on it for an hour. And this was just to add in some variety. Because I used to be fairly like not monogamous. I don't know if I've ever really been that monogamous as a stitcher, but I really focused on like things like one project for like a week. That's kind of gone by the wayside now. Obviously I stitch on like 8 to 10 projects every 2 weeks. So I don't really need the temperature stitching, but it's still nice. So the first one that was called was Cozy Autumn, which I definitely worked on for more than an hour because I picked this up. I was in the middle of working on that wedding sampler, and I was kind of just annoyed with the wedding sampler at that point in time because I knew there was a deadline, and brains are weird. So I definitely put in more than an hour on this because I was just enjoying it so much. And oh my gosh, it looks incredible. This is a reelless kit. So this is one of the reelless kits with the wool acrylic thread. So this is like, it's one strand that you pull off the card. And let's see, what did I do? So this whole leaf section up here is done. So I did a lot of the background, like wind here. I didn't do any back stitching yet, but then I brought down all of like, I had a ton of parked threads here because there were a lot of different colors and there was like a big space and I didn't want to mess up the counting. So once I got this leaf in here, I pulled down a lot of those colors to get the top part of the lantern in. And then I think I got some of these books, like book pages in over here. Man, this was so fun to work on this past 2 weeks for some reason. I was really, really enjoying it. And I was a little sad I didn't want to keep going, but I knew I would be sadder if I didn't work on my goal stitching. So it went away, but it'll come back out again. It's so cute. And it's really not that big, which is really nice also. Okay, so the other one I pulled out for temperature stitching was Moon Deer. So this, I added 616 stitches, so it's now at 5,084 stitches out of 28,147 stitches for 18.06%. I'm doing this with the, this is Owl Forest embroidery. So I'm doing this with the Owl Forest specific threads. 1/2 on 46 count cream and sugar by Fiber and Whim. And what I did, again, this also got an extra time because I wanted to finish this part of it because I was a little bored with that. And so I knew if I did that, picking it up again would be more exciting. So I just wanted to get that bit done. And now I get to move on to more exciting things. So that was just very, very repetitive. And I know I have a ton more of those to go as I get down to the bottom, but I've got a lot of stuff to do before I'll get back to those, so it's okay. Yeah, that's looking really good. Okay. Plans. So again, I'm gone next week. I don't know how many times I can say it. My husband will be home with the dog, which is great. House is taken care of. Made myself a latte in my keep it warm mug because I know I talk and I don't drink my coffee like I should. Okay, so I'm bringing Santa's Journey stocking home with me. I'm also going to bring Burrow Tales Stitch Along home with me because that's pretty monochromatic. So that one's like really easy. And that's all I'm bringing home stitching wise. So I'm hoping to get quite a bit of progress on those, and it would be, you know, because my goal is to finish Santa's Journey stocking early September. And then, yes. Okay, so I also have another wedding sampler I would like to get done by the end of September because I'm going on a bachelorette trip for my cousin, and I would like to give it to her then rather than give it to her at like the wedding venue that we are all traveling to. It'll be easier to give it to her there when she's not worried about 500 other things. So I need to get that done. And September, I'm switching up my plans entirely. So the next 2 weeks, I would love to, okay, Extraordinary Birds will be finished. I would love to get caught up on Burrow Tales sale, but that is not highest priority. I want to finish Santa's Journey stocking. That and birds are my 2 highest priorities. I want to get those done. Third priority is to start and get as far as I can on the other wedding sampler that I have to do. I have everything I need for it. I just need to start it. I need to finish it. It's only, I think, like 2,000-ish stitches, so it's not huge. So I probably won't finish it by next time, but I will hopefully be close. The other thing is Farewell to Lothlorien. I want to finish that block. So we'll see what I get done, honestly. I have no idea how much stitching I'm going to be doing over the next 2 weeks. That's fine, but those are my goals. We'll also be getting new WIPGO numbers on Monday. So 22nd. Yeah, so Monday we'll be getting new WIPGO calls. So that will influence some of my stitching next month as well. But my main plan for at least next month, probably for the rest of the year, because after the stocking and after the other wedding sampler, I have no goals left for the year as far as stitching goes. So I want to do quite a bit more of kind of stitching a little bit on everything and starting quite a few things. That's my plan. So, the 2 main things I'm going to be doing as far as like guiding my stitching is I'm going to be doing the Great British Bake Off cross stitch challenge that Jessie Marie Does Stuff came up with. She comes up with the best games. She comes up with the best games. And I know she's doing the Big Brother stitching challenge now. So if you watch Big Brother, I know that's almost over, but next year, she has a game that goes with Big Brother. I've never watched Big Brother, and that is never more apparent to me than I'm watching her Big Brother stitching videos. I have no idea what she's talking about. Same thing with her football challenge. Not a football girl. So I'm like, oh yeah, yards gathered and collected. Obviously, that means this many stitches. Okay. But Great British Bake Off, now that show is perfect. So I'm going to pop up her graphic here, but she has a video on her channel that I will link below explaining how to play, and I believe she's putting out another one soon. So whenever she posts that, I'm going to update the link to make sure you have like the most recent video for the Great British Baking Challenge, cross stitch challenge. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so between that, my stitching is now going to go, which actually corresponds very well to my filming schedule from Friday to Friday. I'll be like switching up what I'm working on throughout the week. Instead of like my Sunday, I have my stitching stuff now. Yes. So because GBBO comes back September 2nd in the UK where it actually airs, and then it'll be on Netflix on the Friday. It usually comes out like that Friday here in the US. So, I'm just excited about that. I might choose a specific project to work on also while I'm watching, but I also might do knitting because then I can like focus more. Yeah, so I'll be doing Great British Bake Off, and I've already gotten the list of the contestants, and I've matched them up with one of my works in progress. I have my rules down here and about how many stitches that is. So some of my projects also are not digital, so I can't count number of stitches, but I'm relatively aware of how many stitches I can get in X amount of time. So I'm gonna go for those ones like time-based to match up with approximately the stitch count for the others. So just a quick glance here, and this is subject to change. But yeah, so we got all the contestants here, and then I randomly assigned them a whip. I know nothing about these people. I just got a list of their names and gave them projects. So the only one on here that is really up for debate is Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. I know I want to start that, but I bought a specially dyed Bestitch Me fabric for it, and her lead time is very long. It's like 3 to 12 weeks or something, and I'm gonna lean probably closer to the latter half of that because I think I ordered like over a month ago now. So if I tell myself it's gonna take 12 weeks, it'll be okay. But yeah, so that will probably have to change for the first couple weeks unless I get my fabric earlier than I'm actually anticipating. We'll see. I hope it gets here sooner than that though, because I would really like to start it, but that's okay. And again, those are all subject to change, because I don't know. I know how many stitches I'll have to do, but like I don't know how that's really going to map up with like my time during the week. So we're just gonna go with it, see, and then I'll play around if I have to. And like I said, whenever Farewell to Lothlorien, like if that person leaves, I'm gonna keep that on the list no matter what. So if right now Toby is assigned Farewell to Lothlorien, if he leaves, I will choose somebody else, remove their project, and put in Farewell to Lothlorien for them. So I'm continuously getting progress on that for the rest of the year. Based on the vote that you guys had last time, you want me to keep working on Farewell to Lothlorien. Succubus is also on this list, but I'm going to be giving that extra stitches, I think, throughout the week just to get it hopefully close to the 10% by the end of the year. And that's like not a firm goal. That's just would be nice. The other thing I'm doing, again, to introduce more variety, because these are all the projects that I actively already have started, except for Halloween at Hot Grown Hollow. I'm increasing my temperature stitching. So I'm going to be doing, like every Friday, I'm gonna look at the following week and do half an hour for each like time. So say it's like 74 for 3 days, whatever project is assigned to 4 on my list, that'll get an hour and a half of stitching. And again, like I might, if that ends up not being like enough to fill my week, either I'll just like pick something up I want to pick up, or that'll be like whip go goal time, or that's all done. I'll add in like the low temperatures too, just to do that. So that list of temperatures will continue to change monthly like I've been doing, but I'm gonna add like new starts to that list too. And I'm counting the time it takes to like kit up and start it as part of that half hour of like time I'm giving that project. I hope that all makes sense. It's making sense to me right now and I'm very, very excited, but that means like the next 2 weeks, I'm like nose to the grindstone trying to get some of these things done so I can fully focus on just like having fun. Not that it's not fun, right? Like I love stitching no matter what I'm doing, but I want to just bop around right now. That's just the mood I'm in. And again, that could change too, but I just want to float and do some on everything and see where my mood takes me. But yeah, so that's it for stitching. I'm gonna say a little bit about knitting. I finally finished my purple sweater. However, it is still wet. I'm looking at it right now. It is still drying because I blocked it. It's huge. I'll show you this next time. I might have like really overcorrected. Sometimes it's one of those like body dysmorphia things. I think I'm so much bigger than I am because I was like, oh, this will be like slightly too big. It's really big. So it's definitely just an around the house sweater, but I kind of want to take it with me when I go to my parents' house next week because it's going to be like in the 60s there. And I'm anticipating being very cold the entire time I'm up there. So I would like to have my new sweater done. So I did block it and hoping it dries over the next couple days. And because I finished that, I was able to start 2 new things because I wanted stuff to take with me, which was really also the impetus to finish that one. But I did start on a pair of socks for my husband. So I'm doing another pair of the Comfort Core socks that I did, but in that pattern, she has 3 different versions of the sock. So I'm doing a different version of that, and I'm omitting some of the extra patterning that goes with that for him, because I already have the pattern and everything. And this is one of the yarns we bought while we were out in the Pacific Northwest. This is Kingfisher. It's a really pretty color. Like a grayish brown base with like blues and oranges and yellows all mixed in. So that's gonna be fun. That's a nice travel project that's small. Again, I'm visiting a lot of people. That's gonna be a good project to just like not really have to think about because I've got a lot of leg left to go on that. I also started my first so I'm making Christmas sweaters for my husband and I. I'm using the same pattern, so I'm using the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit. And I bought the man version and the other version, and I'm interested in comparing and contrasting what they look like and like what the measurements are and if it was really worth it to buy the 2 patterns. But this is what it's looking like so far. So I started on the back yoke in this double moss stitch, which looks so cool. I love the double moss stitch. And you know, I'm just working on doing all my short rows right now. I just started it yesterday. Yeah, I just started it yesterday. So it's this really pretty, I'm using Pure Gint. Honestly, my husband says the scratchier the yarn, the better. This is kind of scratchy. I've heard that it really softens up with time also, but I mean, he likes scratchy, so he's gonna get the scratchy, well-made, will hold up for a really long time yarn. I think this color is pine green. They don't put the color name on the yarn. And then for me, when I get to my sweater. I also went with the Peer Gynt base. I forget, I think like ruby red or something was the color. It's a little bit like more maroon than that. That's coming out like bright red. But then I got this color, and like the differences make sense, but I got this color of mohair, and this is Isair silk mohair, which is one of the softest mohairs I have ever felt in my life. And I'm hoping this is going to disguise some of the itchiness from this, but this is going to be my version, and this is his version, which I think will be really cute, and I'm excited to work on that, and you know, fingers crossed, get that all done before Christmas this year. Because yeah, the only other, like, after everything I just mentioned, as far as like things that I need to get done, the only other things are like knitting things, which aren't like, I don't actually have to get them done, I just want to. So, which is good, except I am gonna make a stocking for my nephew, so that will be started. That's the first time I've ever done color work, so that's gonna start, I'm gonna start that when I get home and have some time to think about it and work on it that way, because I'm a little scared of color work, but I'm excited to try it and get into it. But yeah, so I think that's it for the crafting. That's for crafting, that's it for plans, books. You know, I've been reading, obviously. I'm still on my Anita Blake kick, and I love everybody who comments in my last video and also loves those books. So it's definitely not just me, and they're making me happy right now. So that's all you can ask for. And I also have a lot of driving time coming up, so I'll be listening to a lot of audiobooks. I usually try to switch between like a Wheel of Time book, and I also have Dungeon Crawler Carl on deck, and then I might either add like a thriller or a romance in there somewhere. So if you have any good recommendations for either of those, drop those below. I'll be traveling for a little while, so you have some time to give me some recommendations. Probably just get it from the library, but yeah, I like those because like those are easily done within one of the trips, whereas like Wheel of Time, I'm not going to finish that book in one trip unless I'm driving across the country. So I like to intersperse that with something that I can finish within start and stopping of driving. But that's it for me. I did end up talking, but it's not my longest video, so that is a-okay. And, you know, let's get through the end of August and just finally be in the months where all of your autumn decor is socially acceptable again. And yeah, I think that's it. So have the best day that is available to you. I hope you have time and can do something for yourself today. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Let's see, I didn't say an emoji. Put a car, because I'm traveling by myself. I hate driving. I don't want to do it. Whatever, it's fine. Put a car emoji if you made it this far, because good for you. And I will see you in 2 weeks with hopefully a lot of progress done on a couple whips. And then we can get into very fun challenge stitching, which I'm very excited and is very like, it's different from what I usually do. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, have a wonderful day, I hope, and I'll see you next time. Bye.